Israel Most High in Christ bless. It's your brother Hezeki. We're in Waikiki again today, and today with me I've got, what's your name, sister?
I'm Stacy.
Stacy, and you?
Lotheria.
Lotheria, okay. And you folks are from where?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, so as you folks know, we come out here and we try and ask our people some biblical and historical questions and find out exactly how much our folks know about the things that we celebrate and the customs we teach our children. So the first thing we're going to ask is just in regards to this past month. By any chance you know what last month was?
Black History Month.
Black History Month. Good.
February.
Good. There you go. There you go. So can you tell me a little bit about your knowledge of Black History Month? If you know anything in particular of why it originated and its significance?
I just know that it's the month that we celebrate Black history, basically. The people who contributed to, the
paved the way for
Black people, like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and so forth.
Absolutely. So do you still find it beneficial today? And that it is a necessary educational?
Yes.
It's still, oh, good. Okay, good. So, did you get a chance to watch Black Panther movie at all?
Yes.
Good. So, right. So what did you think about that as far as like the imagery that it presented to our people?
Well, it portrayed us as being strong people, which we are. So what kind of family?
Right. And the idea behind it is, which is very similar to Black History, right? Which is the imagery, which was promoted by Carter G. Woodson. I'm not sure if you're familiar. And he wanted to try and erase the negative stereotypes that our people, were being labeled with at that time. How they are, say we're lazy, we don't work, all those different things. But when you go through history, you understand that we basically created everything, right?
Yes.
Right? So
Lights, everything.
there you go.
There
you go, right? So the other question I have is, in regards to the Black History Month, can you name 2 people in the Bible that were Black?
Good question.
We'll get to it. Okay, no worries. Okay. So the other question the last question I have is in regards to what is the holiday that's coming up next month? Holiday.
Easter.
Right. Okay. Good. So my question to you is.
That's what I'm trying to remember.
April 1st.
Switches.
Yes.
Okay.
April
I got
1st.
you.
April 1st. So my question then is in regards to. Can you tell me about what it is we celebrate?
The resurrection of Jesus.
Okay. And how do we understand it? How was it told? The story. The story. Just in general, 2 minutes. What is the story of it?
He rose from the dead on the 3rd day.
On the 3rd day, right? Okay. When did he die? Okay. No,
I know, but I can't really.
No worries. Have you heard of Good Friday?
Yes.
Good Friday. Okay. And Resurrection Sunday.
Yes.
Right.
So, but you said something very key, which is biblically accurate. You said 3 days and 3 nights, right? Okay. So, my question to you is, can you count out for me just 3 days and 3 nights from Friday to Sunday?
I know what you're saying. They would have put it to Monday or whatever, but I don't know why they chose Friday as Good Friday. I thought they were just choosing it as that,
Good.
Knowledge that they probably did that.
Okay. So these are the questions that we're asking our people because I'm not sure about you, but I grew up in the Christian church, right? And these are some of the holidays that we've celebrated throughout our generations. We don't truly know why we do it, right? So when I ask, how do you get 3 days and 3 nights from Friday to Sunday? Because that's traditionally the celebration.
Well, you can have 3 days, but not 3 nights. Well, yes, you can.
Let's count it.
But you got Friday.
He died on Friday.
Oh, he died on Friday. Okay. Then resurrected on Sunday.
How do you get 3 days and 3 nights? So this is the conversation that we're trying to have with our people.
Well, if you include Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that'll still take us to Monday.
Right. We gotta try and finagle it, right? We gotta try and make it fit. So that is why we're out here, and these are some of the questions, just like I said briefly, and we appreciate your time, but we just wanted to ask our people. These are customs that we've celebrated for generations, but we can't truly explain it. You know, so if you give us a minute, we're going to pause for just a moment and be right back, and we're going to maybe address a couple of these issues with the Bible and see if it makes sense to you. And if you have any questions from there, then you can address them at that point.
Thank you.
All right?
This is Super Saiyan. This is the best song ever. Yeah, baby, yeah.
And it's me, Super Mom. Hi,
Yeah.
Super Kids.
This is the bottom yard. Hide your eggs. There's always there with treats. It's white and fuzzy with jumpity feet and a big old buck-tooth teeth. She hops, 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 then bobs, bobs, bobs to the houses on the streets. They're filled with sweets. If you're lucky, you'll even find money.
Here, hide this egg.
Where?
Over there.
Shalom, Israel, Messiah Christ bless. And we're back again. And at this point, we just want to go into the scriptures a little bit and identify some of the topics that we were discussing with the biblical reference to support our statements and our perspective with the Bible. So the first thing, just in a broad general term, we were discussing Black history. Right? So black, as we know, is a color in a crayon box. Right? It's not, my shirt is black. None of us are black. Different shades of brown. So if you remember at the beginning, I said we're a biblical history and prophecy study. So what we do is we go into the scriptures and we can identify who the so-called black man is, right? According to the scriptures. So we're going to look at a couple of things that identify a nation of people that would be called by other names in their true identity. So let's get in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 47.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed you.
So the reason why we hit this particular scripture is it goes to some of the things that happened to our ancestors, right? Historically, we had yokes of iron put on our necks. But if you recognize biblically, these first 5 books are written by who? The first 5 books of the Bible? Moses.
Joshua!
Woe unto thee, O Israel! You have sinned a great sin in the sight of God. You are not worthy to receive these 10 commandments.
Right, Moses. So, in the book of Deuteronomy, he's speaking to the children of Israel as they came out of Egypt. Well, that might be right. So here he is now saying that if you disobey God and the laws that were given to you, I'm going to bring people against you that's going to not only put yokes of iron on you, but they're going to provide everything you need in life. Everything, including our education, including our identity. Right? You probably remember, yes, sir.
The book of Deuteronomy, 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So the key part of that is that proverb and byword, right? I'm sure you've heard this before. You want to hide anything from a Negro, put it where? You heard this before? You want to hide anything from a Negro, put it in a book. Right? That's like an old saying, right?
Yeah, the way you said it, it didn't sound.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to make it G-rated, you know what I mean? Because they say other ways of, you know what I mean? So, but what we're identifying is that these people will be called proverbs and bywords. A byword is something that identifies you, but it's not your true name, right? So sometimes, like black, right? Like African American. Those and we're of an age where we understand that that name has changed pretty much every decade. Negro, nigger, black, African American, color, right? These are undeniable facts of history. But it's identifying a particular people, which are the children of Israel. So what I'm trying to show you out of the scriptures is that these curses only fit our ancestors, only fit our people. Because my next question to you was, do you know any black people in the Bible? But if that statement I made is correct, that will mean that the children of Israel look like you and look like me. Let's get Jesus Christ. One second. Revelations 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So it says the revelation of Jesus Christ. The root word of revelation is reveal. Right? The revealing of Jesus Christ. Let's go read that.
Which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
So God gave it to John the Revelator to show unto his servants, right? Let's get verse 14.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
His head and his hairs were white like wool. Who has woolly textured hair? Only one people. But we're identifying Jesus Christ. But do you see how we've been confused in church? That the God of the Bible didn't readily come to mind when I asked you who was black in the Bible. You see what I mean? Let's go. Read that. Keep reading.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
That doesn't mean he had cyclops. It was just the white of his eyes. Go ahead.
And his feet.
And his feet. So all you folks are wearing sandals. I look at your feet. It tells me the complexion of the rest of your body. All right?
And his feet like unto fine brass.
What color fine brass is? Wow. Watch this.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So you take brown and you burn it. What color? You take anything like burn it. What color is it? Dark-skinned man. It's the God of the Bible. But watch this. If Jesus Christ was black, according to the scriptures, what color was his mother? I'm not trying to trick you. She was black. What color was his brothers and sisters? I know he had a family. Right, but let's get Song of Songs. Song of Solomon 1 and 5. Jesus came from the lineage of David, right? Jesus Christ was called the son of David. He was a Jew, the tribe of Judah. King David, King Solomon, those were his ancestors. So let's just read about King Solomon briefly. And let's see what that says about him. Yes.
The Song of Solomon. Chapter 1 and verse 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's.
So this is Solomon's Song of Songs. Jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. I am black, but comely.
He said, I am black and beautiful. This is out of the Bible. But we've grown up in the church and not been shown. Remember we talked about Wakanda, we talked about imagery, but our image is in the Bible, but we've just not been shown that. So you have to ask yourself, why not?
Actually, Pastor just said that last time.
There you go. So
y'all don't even know y'all just
right. So it's very important though, because when
my pastor just said that at church last time.
But the interesting part is it doesn't readily come to mind when you're asked the question because we've been taught differently for so long. You know what I mean? So it's important to now push and promote those images during Black history. Jesus is black. King Solomon is black. Paul was black. The apostles were black. Right? And we have to stand by those things just the way we stand by Wakanda. Because this is actually the word of God. Make sense? Okay. So, briefly, last thing we talked about Easter. Can you get Matthew chapter 12? Matthew chapter 12, I believe it's 40. Yeah, 12 and 40. Because you made this correct statement. Let's just read out the Bible to prove all things. Go ahead.
The book of Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
So that is exactly what you said, 3 days and 3 nights. However, according to the traditions that we've been taught, that's not what we celebrate. Because Easter holiday was not what Jesus Christ celebrated. He celebrated a holiday known as Passover. Passover. So if we are claiming Christian, like a Christ-like, we need to do the things that Christ did. He didn't celebrate Easter. Celebrating Passover. And so these are the things that we are trying to promote to our people as we run into them. Jesus was black. Mary was black. You are the Israelites, God's chosen people, which sets you apart from everyone else. And it's important for us to come back to our true culture and heritage, because black and African American is rooted in slavery. All right? So these are the things that we're just trying to share with our people. Do you have any questions? Does that make any sense? Okay, great. So we must do at this point is to do the research. Look up for yourself. Easter comes from an ancient god known as Ishtar, Ashtoreth. It's a pagan custom. Google it. It's pagan. So once you figure that out, you know what the first commandment is of the 10 commandments? The first commandment of the 10 commandments.
That's not
The first one.
That's not. Wait a minute, no.
Don't tell you? Okay, don't tell you. Okay.
Because you always get stoned when you're out.
Yeah. We'll just read it. No problem.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Right. So if we identify Easter as originating with the god Ishtar or Ashtoreth, it's something we should not be involved in. So just wanted to share this information with you. Pray that you were able to glean something from this information. And before you leave, we'll leave you with some contact information of where this will be, how you can reach out to us, because we've got classes 7 days a week, 3 times a day, and we're located in every major city. We have a school in Jacksonville. So if you wanted to look more into it, you can do that as well at that time. So definitely appreciate your time. Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Until next time, we'll catch you on another episode of Rizing Tide. Shalom.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.